I was wondering what happened to all of our basic swamps. They're right here. They're right here in the graveyard. I was like, I know I have more than one basic swamp in this deck. That just sounds outrageous. I'm gonna eat you! Brah! What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be diving into a predatory standard deck, which is, well, basically an Immersturm predator deck in standard, focusing on dealing huge amounts of damage to our foes from all kinds of different angles. This includes flying creatures, giants being in the graveyard, or giants just being on the battlefield, right? So this does feature a whole slew of new cards that we do need to go over and go through. We'll try and go through the older known cards a little bit faster, and of course deep dive into the newer ones. So our first one for the day is going to be Immersturm Predator. This 4-mana 3/3 flying vampire dragon is super hard for your opponent to remove, and it's evasive as it immediately has flying already. So whenever Immersturm Predator becomes tapped, exile up to one target card, from a graveyard, yours or the opponent. So it can be good against rogues, or it can be good against other Rakdos escape style decks, right? Furthermore, you're going to put a +1/+1 counter on Immersturm Predator every time it gets tapped, which means every time it attacks, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and has the ability to gain indestructibility. Furthermore, you can sacrifice something, tap Immersturm Predator, and, well, gain that indestructibility that I was talking about gaining almost every single turn, right? As long as you have a creature there to sack. Now, some of the other cards that we need to focus on is Calamity Bearer. This 4-mana 3/4 giant berserker. If a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. Couple this with the Bone Crusher giants that we already have in the deck, as well as the Croxas, and you got for a whole lot of damage if any of them, or if even one of them, connects. Of course, we're also running Embercleave, so connecting with these giants is, well, all the easier. So if you double the damage, plus you add Embercleave to add Double Strike, you have effectively like 24 or 28 points of damage from Croxa, right? Not counting the 3 that you could potentially get from them discarding a card from their hand. So potentially 31 points of damage with a single creature swinging in, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. This deck does a great job of literally just winning in a single turn. It is a definite one-turn kill kind of deck. So down here in our bottom end, we do have two copies of Claim the Firstborn. This helps not only clear the opponent's side, but also gives us an extra creature to swing in with and reduce the cost of our own Embercleave, right? Furthermore, we can use our Predator to then sacrifice the creature that we've stolen. Mire Triton's going to help fill up our graveyard for the Croxas, for the Egons, right? And for, well, anything else that might need our graveyard. I can't really think of anything right now, but that works. Valki is going to be great early game hand lookage at our opponent's stuff, right? Take it to a creature, potentially turning Valki into that creature. And then, of course, mid to late game, we have the Tibalt Cosmic Impostor to come down, exile target artifact or creature, exile the top card of each player's library, do all that fun shenanigans, right? 2 copies of Fire Giant's Fury. This is a newer card as well. It is sorcery speed, so please remember that, as I have a tendency to not. 2 mana, target giant you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn, which means, yes, you can give your Croxa trample and kick it up to 8 points of damage. Furthermore, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile that many cards, that being the amount of damage that you've dealt, from the top of your library until the end of your next turn. You can play those cards. So it's essentially 2 mana, draw, you know, up to like 8 cards, which is insanely strong for a 2-mana spell. Also gives you trample and additional damage, so that's nice. Fling is a great way to finish out your foe. You can also use Kazul's Fury if you want to, you know, have it as a land and not have it come down at 2 mana instead of 3, blah, blah, blah. I like Fling better than Kazul's Fury. I don't like having the tap land in my deck at all. I prefer to have a potentially dead spell over a potentially tapped land. It's up to you on, you know, personal preference. But Fling is really good, given, again, you can make your Croxa go up to 8 points of damage with Fire Giant's Fury, swing in, it has trample, it's dealing damage, and then you fling with that Croxa straight into the opponent's face. Shadow Skull Smashing for some additional removal. Egon is actually really, really good in this deck, given we have the Mire Tritons and the Time Merits to help fill up our graveyard. We can generally get down the 6/6 Death Toucher fairly easily, and of course, if you equip Embercleave to the 6/6 Death Toucher, it becomes a 7/7, and since it has Death Touch, it only needs to assign 1 singular point of damage to the foe blocking it, which means it can generally deal 13 points of damage to the opponent's face for pretty much free ski, right? Also, you can have this come down on turn 3, and as long as you've had a creature come down on turn 2, which, you know, you have Valki, Mire Triton, that kind of stuff, you can Embercleave with this come turn 4 and have a very, very quick and decisive game. Time Merit, of course, going to give you those zombie creature tokens, which are nice chum blockers. They're nice at reducing the cost of Embercleave, and it's nice at filling up your graveyard for the Kroxa, etc., etc. Furthermore, you get to gain life and scry whenever this thing goes to leave the battlefield based off the number of zombies you control, which, you know, you have the Mire Triton, so it can be a little bit larger than what you would initially think. Bone Crusher Giant, we've all seen it, we all know it, we all either love it or hate it, but we still play it. Agadeems is to help, of course, bring back a slew of creatures that you can hit from 4 all the way down to 2, so you can potentially bring back 3 creatures in a singular turn with this card, which is, you know, pretty good value given it's also a land on the flip side. 1 copy of a Crowan to also help take our opponent's creatures. For those creatures that claim won't take, a Crowan generally will, and again, we can sacrifice those creatures with our Predator. Now, that's going to pretty much do it for the deck tech breakdown. I would recommend taking out the Immersturm Skull Karn, as I haven't really been having too much luck with them. You have to think about it, it's 5 mana, it comes down tapped, and again, we don't like tap lands where we're playing an aggro deck. We're already running the temple to help reduce the number of swamps and basic mountains that we have already. So I think the Immersturm Skull Karn here is a little bit overkill on the tap lands. But aside from that, the deck felt super fantastic. It's a super fast deck, and again, if you're playing a best of 1, the surprise damage with Embercleave onto your Predator or Calamity Bear or Kroxa is insanely good. The surprise damage with Fire Giant's Fury, though it is sorcery speed, most opponents aren't expecting you to run it in a Rakdos deck where it's, you know, generally not seen a whole lot. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching through the deck tech breakdown and all the way through the video. If you're enjoying, please be sure to leave a like down below, comment in the comment section, subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more of this awesome one-of-a-kind content with this, you know, one-of-a-kind jokes, because this is the only place on YouTube to find this level of Magic comedic relief with these janky style decks, right? Thanks everybody again for watching all the way through. If you'd be so kind, if you make it all the way through the video and you got some extra time to watch another and another, or recommend it to a friend, all of that is greatly appreciated and helps make sure, or helps to ensure, that I can stay here doing this as a part-time job for all of you, because, well, I do have another job. So every bit of money that I make from this sort of goes back into making this a more permanent, full-time kind of thing. Anyways, thanks again everybody, and I'll see you in the matches. Hey, we get to go first. That's a nice change of pace. We to go first, and we have decent lay of lands. Woohoo! RNG on our side. I think I am gonna go ahead and drop the Fabled. Actually, stocks up the graveyard. We don't have any like landfall kind of stuff in this deck, so I don't have to worry about that. Love Struck Beast. Maybe another Gruul Adventures. We'll see. Yep. Gruul Adventures, ladies and gentlemen. The deck that will remain the same. Throw in 1 Vorinclex and you're good to go. I think getting rid of the edge wall should be priority here. Alright, so this should just chop them at the knees completely, right? Love Struck can't attack. They don't get to draw cards off of edge wall. Now they might have a Great Hinge lineup. It's Clothius. I'm going to be looking to exile my stuff. Puts this to 4 mana. Such an awkward position for us, really. Let's just drop the Bone Crusher. Honestly, we could probably keep climbing with Gruul Adventures as well, despite Kaldheim having come out. But where's the fun in that? I really want to Embercleave. And since Clothius is just sort of dominating our graveyard for the time being, I think that's what we should focus on. The Embercleave Fling sort of combo. Alright, because we don't want to use Timer at Calls the Dead, put a Kroxa in our graveyard, and then Clothius is like, hey, thanks. You know? Same thing with Mire Triton. So we really only want to put stuff in our graveyard if we can afford to get it back out in that same turn. And, well, we can't right now. So let's get down Bone Crusher and just have an extra unit on the board. Go for the Embercleave. It'll cost 4. Kazandu. And Fabled. Which they shouldn't proc Fabled here. Like, they should wait till our turn, right? So Kazandu can be a bigger blocker. Immersturm Predator is really, really good. Great at blocking. Go for the Embercleave, go for the Predator. I think we gotta go for the Predator. Embercleave is just like... I think it's blowing the fireworks too early, so to speak, right? Showing the coup de grace before need be. So still no attacks here, as the Love Struck Beast will just obliterate something. Now when the Colossus goes to exile something, we can tap our Predator and exile it instead, right? Oh, but we have to sacrifice a Bone Crusher in order to do it. I think we just leave that as is then. If we want to use the Predator to block, sure, but taking out that 2 damage, I don't think is necessarily worthwhile right now. Hopefully we can hit a land, and that way we could use Embercleave and then maybe Fling or Embercleave Mire Triton. Love Struck Beast, turn it on their other Love Struck Beast makes sense. So our Predator, if we do sacrifice, goes to a 4/4. Sacrifice the other one, 5/5. Embercleave, 6/6. Still not enough, really. I think they should swing in with both here. They have enough for the Embercleave, which is what's terrifying, right? They did all that, made their creature big as hell, and they still have enough for Embercleave. So this is how we have to block, and then they're going to use Fabled Passage, and we just, you know, fingers crossed that one of those 2 cards isn't a cleave. Alright. So mitigated all that damage. It did cost us a Bone Crusher, but that's alright. So we hit the land, but since we lost a Bone Crusher, we don't have that mana that I was talking about. I could go Time Merit plus Mire Triton. Just get him with the Immersturm Predator. I do kind of like the idea of that. Colossus is going to have free reign on exile here, but you can't always stop that. So honestly, Colossus is probably the biggest motherfucker here, as it just keeps ticking us down and them up. Ticking us down, whatever, but ticking them up to 26, that means that our lethality is a lot harder to hit here. So just exile the Bone Crusher here. Get that 2/2 down. And I think we leave Predator back again because it's just a really good defender, even though it is our almost only way of attacking. Maybe we send in the Bone Crusher and then we can just chum block with Mire Triton and the 2/2. So we got to deal damage at some point. Now, Immersturm can sacrifice everything, goes to 7. Embercleave puts it to 8. 16. We need more red mana. We need 1 more red mana. Alright. Let's see if we can find it. I'm hoping the Death Touch will discourage them from doing too much. They're going to gain additional land here. That's a little strange. Yeah. Just seems a little strange. Alright, turning the Colossus online, again, bad for us. Alright, so they got a lot of big power. Lot of big power. We can take out Love Struck with the block. That's not too shabby. Do I just go no blocks here? If I go ahead and block here, then I can tap you, sack that, put it up to 5. It makes Embercleave cost more. I think we gotta take that. Tap land, not exactly what we wanted there. Whatever. Whatever. There's an additional unit. Scry away. I don't know. Well, tell you what, Mire Triton's not horrible. Because if we hit a Croxa, which we are due for one, then we can immediately play it thereafter, I think. So here, if we swing all in, we can't use the Fling combo thereafter, but we do still get Embercleave. Actually, I can get Embercleave just on the Predator alone, right? Wish I had some untapped red mana. Some more, you know, some more untapped red mana. Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 11. I'm off by 1. I'm off by 1 red mana, and I'm off by 1 creature. You know how infuriating that is? But we very well coulda, shoulda, woulda had lethal there. If that temple had been untapped red mana, that'd been nice. God, now we just have to hope and pray they don't have a freaking Embercleave here. Alright. Moment of truth. And we can give our Predator indestructible, so if they try to destroy it, that won't work. They're trying to figure out a way to finish this out here. I think. Why do they keep hovering Colothius? What does that have to do with Shatter Skull? Seems a little strange that that's where they put it. So is that GG? Because we also have the Fling. We can sacrifice those 2 units to put our Predator up to an 8/8 with double strike on next turn. Hey! G. There we go. Submit. Submit. Oh, it doesn't gain us extra counters. I'm such a fool. It's okay, though, because we have the Fling, and they don't know that. They don't gotta know what I know. It's only when you tap it that it gains the counter, I think. Whenever it becomes tapped, yeah, exile. Yeah. Alright. Bam. Bam. Goodbye, Bruno. Fantastic. I think this is pretty good hand here. Opponent does get to go first, which is unfortunate, but oh, that's doggos being doggos. Alrighty. Rally the ranks in an elf deck. Interesting. Unfortunately, that puts that creature bigger than the Bone Crusher can really deal with. I think I still save mana for Bone Crusher. I'd rather use Village Rites on Kroxa if at all possible. Really good value for us. We also have the Embercleave lined up over there. So we'll take this too. And then Bone Crusher to the face. I wonder what they have for 3 mana instant speed that they don't want to spend. You know what I mean? Could drop a Valky. I think either which way we need this additional black mana down for the village, right? So do we drop a Valky? 2-1, can't really block. Kroxa also can't really block. Does make them discard, but at random. I think Valky's better because it gives us the information. Also gives this creature on board, which means Embercleave is going to be a little bit cheaper in future endeavors, hopefully. Wildborn Preserver. Getting it out of their hand now, so that way we can't take it. Makes sense. What we might end up doing, since we didn't pull a creature here, is just block and then Village Rites our Valky as well. What do they have here? Binding the Old Gods. It's bad for us as, well, yeah. Wait a minute. I think they should have attacked there first, but whatever. Claim, and we just got rid of our Village Rites, unfortunately, but maybe we can find something else. Egon, God of Death. Alright. Gain us a little bit of life, make them discard. If they discard the land, cool, dealing damage. If not, then we're getting rid of whatever other card they have, right? Oh, it was also a land. But should be setting ourselves up for the Kroxa. / Egon, I guess. See, we're going to be at 5 mana on this next turn. No attacks there. Quakebringer. Could just drop a Quakebringer, right? Opponents can't gain life. Does give their creatures Death Touch here in a second, so I might want the Bone Crusher down. We could also do this. Alright. Now their creatures have Death Touch. I'm not too concerned with it. I'm fine if we lose both of our creatures here. Herald, King of Skimfar. And they got Taverkel, which they can get down because the Jaspera Sentinel. Yeah. Tapping a lot of their creatures out here, though. Calamity Bearer, interesting. So we could actually play Calamity Bearer, take their Wildborn, swing all in. We'd also drop a Quakebringer, again, take Wildborn, swing all in. Or take Wildborn, swing in, makes Embercleave cost 3. Still have 1 mana left over. Drop an Egon? That doesn't sound that good. I drop Calamity Bearer here. I think this is a nice setup for an Embercleave on the next turn. I almost still want to claim that Wildborn this turn, though, and just swing. I think they'll block the Mire Triton. Nah, we'll play defensive. We'll wait one more turn. How about that? So as long as this top deck isn't the top deck of the century, it's just a land. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. They do get to create another unit here. They could give Wildborn crazy amount of counters here. But if we can get the Embercleave, I don't think it'll matter too much. They leave 3 mana available, and I wonder why that is. Fabled Passage is really good for us. So our Embercleave is going to cost 3. I definitely want an Embercleave plus Claim. So that there goes all of our red mana. I think we do get 1 additional here. And then we claim Wildborn if at all possible. They can tap it, but then we untap it. So that's kind of nice. Alright. Then swing all in. Embercleave costs 2, and then we still have a follow-up of Egon. Right? So we can put the Embercleave on their Wildborn. I think we have lethal here, though. I don't think we'll need to go to Egon, even. Bam! Cleave on Giant. I mean, cleave on pretty much anything there is, like, good to go. Look at my Horst. My Horst is amazing. I think I know where they're going there. The Time Merit does set up for the Kroxa pretty well. And I guess we have lands outside of that we can sort of work with what we want. I am going to go ahead and drop the Agadeem's tapped. I don't want the opponent to be aggro and then me turn around and pay 3 life and be like, well, damn, did it to myself. So, Kroxa, go. Ox might be a decent add in this deck. Of course, with Exile on the cards with Egon, you're like really running one of 2 routes. You're going for the Giants in that mid-rangey sort of feel, or you're going for the super aggro with Egon. Right? Here we drop the Castle Emberth and the Time Merit Calls the Dead. Let's see. Mill 3 more cards. Puts us to 6. We only need 5. So I can create a unit here. Now I should be able to get the Kroxa back next turn, right? That's pretty strong. Had a pretty solid line of plays so far. The opponent is looking kind of roguish, I'm not gonna lie. I see the Triome, don't get me wrong, but it just looks like budget rogues, you know? Sort of budgety rogues. So mill 3 more cards. We should actually be able to exile 1 and then still get it. Oh no, because it's, wow, all lands, huh? Well, at least that keeps us from flooding, which is really, you know, really good actually. We don't get the additional creature, which is a bummer, but yeah, you can't win them all. I was wondering what happened to all of our basic swamps. They're right here. They're right here in the graveyard. I was like, I know I have more than 1 basic swamp in this deck. That just sounds outrageous. So if they did have a Drown in the Loch, it wouldn't actually work on Kroxa, even though Kroxa is only 2 CMC, because we exiled all the way down to 1 card. Hey! Look at that. Genius. Genius level plays there. I wish I had 1 more mana, actually, so I could also claim the Kroxa this turn and just smash them. But that's okay. If we can draw into a Calamity Bear, that would be really excellent as well, right? Kroxa dealing in 12. Which I don't think Kroxa's ability deals 6 damage, by the way, with Calamity Bear, just to solve everybody's worry or wonder, whatever you may call it. I don't think Kroxa's ability is procced with Calamity Bear, so ease your mind. Go with their own unit. That's right. How has the Angels deck's been looking? I've been foaming at the mouth to get a good Angel deck. Well, we're gonna see if we can create one today. Yikes. We are still getting so flooded, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11. 11 lands out of our top 17? What? I need some playables. Hello? Hello? Don't do it to me, Magic. Not like this. We're gonna grab some, I guess, red mana, because we're all out of, wow, we're almost all out of mana in general because we've already drawn it all. On the bright side, though, that should mean that we're due for for another land. That's what I was thinking. Part of me wanted to play a land there, and what is this? Six, 7, 8, 13 lands out of our top 19 cards. We only have 21 in the deck. 13 lands out of our top 19. I'm not even counting Shatterskull as a land. I'm counting it as a playable. Oh, let's not forget these two. Oh, well, I guess that counts as these two. Yeah, we don't have to count those because it's already accounted for. It's already accounted for. Now, the nice thing about the Sharks, because I'm trying to look at the bright side of things here. All right. Three, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Plus the ones we scrod away, 14. In the top 20. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people hear me complaining about land drops. I don't know what to say. Like, I actually don't know what to say. $15 out of our top 21. 15 lands out of our top 21, ladies and gents. Which means we should only have 6 left in the deck. I have 6 lands and 39 cards. Oh. Alright. Come on, Castle. Give me a land. You know you wanna. Woo! It's playable, ladies and gents. It's it's the exact same playable, ladies and gents. Alright, well, you know the good thing about this, if they counter this one, then we have another one. No biggie. No biggie. Yeah, see? Counter. And I throw another one. Don't tell me you got another counter spell. What the? Woosah, just breathe, everybody, just breathe. Magic's fun, it's okay. I think we still lose here. As hard as we fought, I think we still lose here. Dude, at least I won't get to play till Saturday, so hopefully I'll have a good idea on what to spend my wild cards on. That's good. Well, the odds, yeah. Shatterskull will get you there, I have confidence. Yeah, I mean, I probably should have used Shatterskull last turn instead of dropping the Quakebringer, but honestly, with them having cycled their, what's it called? Their midnight clock, like I think that's where the GG lies. We'll try though. Y'all know me, I'm not gonna go down taking it. To hell with that. So we can go Embercleave on Quakebringer, that's 12 points, plus Shark is 15. Shatterskull 2, we can take out. Hold up. And this, 1, 2, 3. We're actually just gonna do this for 2. Auto pay. Alright, don't counter me. Come on, look at my horse. You've had it all game. Don't have it right now. Son of a bitch. Alright. Well, you know what? Whatever. As long as you don't counter my my village rights, all is swell. So they basically can just allow this to happen. They really shouldn't block here, but whatever. You know, I really want to allow that shark to kill that shark, but we also need to village rights it, so. And it doesn't matter either which way, like we're for sure GG'ing on this. Also, I just easy, right? That's what that says. I think that's what that says. Let me close out of that. We can keep this because we have the Mara Triton into the Egon. And we'll get the Immersturm Skullkarn down first. There we go. Alrighty. Yeah, we're fine to go ahead and play this other swamp here. Mill ourselves up a little bit. 2 lands, not upset at seeing that. That would have been 7 off the rip, so really happy we milled those there. Probably will get the Blight Step pathway down. Ooh, Temple of Malice is good as well. But I think I want Egon. I think I'm gonna swing in first though. And opponent's got this Ramping Selesnya deck. Naya, actually, it's Naya. This should be interesting. That temple hurts a little bit, but we'll still be able to get Calamity Bearer down at some point. Winoda. Naya Winoda makes more sense. Let's see what they hit here. Giant Killer. Okay. And Bosri's Lieutenant. Gonna put the counter on the Lotus Cobra. That makes sense because we most certainly are taking out the Lotus Cobra. Sacrifice and Selfless makes sense. Another Mire Triton Force. Let's go and get down the Temple of Malice. Immersturm Predator. Can't do anything with that in the graveyard, so I think I am going to put it to the bottom so we don't mill it. 2 lands, fine by me. Now we can swing in with Egon. They probably don't block with Winoda. I think we do. If we can hit an Embercleave here, that's really good. Thanks everybody that's joining in, by the way. If you're enjoying the stream, if you enjoy the deck, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe to see more. Good old QB. This is gonna hurt us a lot. Another Bosri's Lieutenant, and the QB is definitely gonna get through. And let's see what else they hit. Alright, well. Take that guy out and block one of you, right? No, I think we just take that one out. It's 8, 11. Croxa. Can't play Croxa and Calamity Bearer, so I think we just have to go for the Calamity. Honestly, though, that winoda is just overpowering us here. Great. It's Naya Winoda Adventures. Makes a lot more sense. I think this is GG here. I think we just let them have it. Actually, we're just gonna go ahead and concede so they don't have to keep pulling stuff out and all that good stuff.